the AI generated thing Trump posted to Truth Social?
Not yet.
I sent it to you guys. It's called Trump Gaza. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was gonna listen to that when I got home or tomorrow.
It's exactly 33 seconds long.
Oh my gosh.
On Truth Social. What I sent you was 35 seconds, but it's 33 seconds on Truth Social. And it has Trump standing in a golden idol. Like a giant golden idol of Trump. Of like,
so this, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I don't know how into more of your face it can get. But it's like he's trolling Christians at this point.
What I had sent you, it says it began in Jerusalem. In the picture, the arrow goes toward the red heifer, and then it's the red heifer sacrifice. It's like, I don't know if it's an idol of a bull or like them kind of psyching themselves up for it, and it looks like a guy who's doing a podcast or something. And I just couldn't click on it at work, but I wanted to remember it. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let me know what it is.
Yeah, it's just getting scary. The quantum computer stuff that's happening, and the Noosphere, and the AI server farms, and
have you been looking at that new particle that they've released that new material? DARPA and Microsoft called the Majorana.
Oh my gosh.
Is that what you're talking about with the quantum computing? 4 days ago, they posted the Majorana 1 is up and running on a qubit. They said they've introduced the fourth state of matter, that they created it.
Oh my gosh. I didn't realize it was that. I thought it was just like a quantum computer.
It is. It's a new type of qubit. So they've changed it, but to do it, they had to create a new fourth state of matter, they claim.
Oh my gosh.
But that's where it gets interesting, because Majorana was a physicist. Like in he went to Nazi Germany, but he was in fascist Italy.
Uh-huh.
And he was a physicist studying neutrinos. Like,
okay.
And light, light particles. Yeah. Anyway, he disappears at 32 years age off the page of history. He just disappears. And I'm wondering why they're naming it after him. It's kind of strange. It's a fascist who, it just disappears. Like, and his work continues, and his work wasn't proven until the 70s. And in the 70s, they discovered and theorized of a Tau, like the book, The Tau. It's a Tau particle. It's a Tau Neutrino. And, so all of this was theory. But I haven't been looking into the Tau in forever, because I was looking at Tau proteins and different things. But the last 2 days, I have just been reading through so much PubMed and scientific journals. And I found out that they discovered into 2020 7 Tau neutrinos. That's light. 7. The 7 lights, the 7 rays.
Whoa.
And they're blasted, and they actually can create them now, and they've been shooting them out of CERN since 2020. And they thought they could find, they were trying to find how many forms of the Tau they could find, but they found exactly 7. That's, neutrinos are like from stars, like collapsing stars or supernovas. But now they're basing them out of CERN and blasting out neutrinos, and they're capturing them in the deep ice in Antarctica. I forget the name of the laboratory, but that's where they're finding the Tau. So they're creating it, blasting it over to Italy, collecting it through gold plates or lead to prove their point, but they for sure have verified that worked. And so then, and that's not tied into this quantum qubit, but I think it is, because like they name it the Majorana 1. Why name it after the guy who was studying neutrinos, who leads to the discovery of the 7? I think they just found the 7 rays that the mystic schools have been after. I could be wrong, but that's where my mind went from studying the occult, is because it's literally 7 rays of light. The neutrinos are light. So right now, there's like 1 trillion neutrinos passing through you right now. Like
Yeah.
they go through all matter, but they can be trapped in the deep ice of Antarctica. That's how they're studying them, which makes me wonder what all these quantum computers have to be kept at sub-zero temperatures.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
That's what I was trying to say about the vaccines is I think they make you, because of the Noosphere and because of the graphene, I think it makes you quantumly entangled with the quantum computers that they're developing. And that's why I was pointing people away from it years ago, because I think it's quantum particle entanglement.
Dang.
Anyway, that's just my own theory.
Yeah. When I think of the neutrino studies, like I knew they have the deep in the earth labs where they have the receivers to try to, but they're deep in the earth.
Yeah, they have a huge one in Italy, and they're actually shooting the Tau Neutrino through the mountain into that one in Italy. That's where it's aimed. But then they're catching neutrinos and the Tau Neutrino from the stars in Antarctica. It's deep under the ice, because apparently ice slows down the Tau Neutrino. It's the only thing they found that can do that, sub-zero temperature. I didn't know that till recently.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm surprised, like a lot of the PubMed, every time I've been on PubMed in the last 4 years, it seems like they've scrubbed anything that's interesting.
Yeah, they have scrubbed a lot.
But so I just stopped looking on PubMed for anything, because I figure if it doesn't go with their agenda, that it's gone. But
well, I don't know of anyone tying these things together, and so maybe that's why they're still there. And maybe it's all in my mind. I don't know. I'm looking into it more. But it struck me as strange that the Tau Neutrino is captured in ice in a way, and that they discovered 7 of them. So it just reminds me of the 7 rays of light in the occult.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, how convenient. Like, is that a coincidence? Another one? I don't know.
It seems like, we're going to have these fallen angels coming down trying to, I don't know, to be part of things. And then we've got the technology and the AI, which I think AI is fallen angel.
I think it's fallen angels.
Yeah, I don't think it's an actual... I think it's a consciousness from a fallen being, beings, not technology at all. Like, it just doesn't make sense. And even the people who make the computers and stuff are like, we don't know what's going on in here.
They seem to have a hard time explaining it too. I think it's magic, because the person working on it was Geordie Rose. Remember that guy I told you about years ago? The D-Wave computers.
You'll have to jog my memory. This is why I have to record what we say so I can listen to it again and digest it and try to remember everything.
So in Alabama, when I was writing the book, I was, the Tau inside the star of Saturn, or the star of Remphan, was his symbol of this company.
Right.
And Geordie Rose was the guy. He was building D-Wave computers. He sells 2 D-Wave quantum computers that he has to have at sub-zero temperatures, and he was building qubits to operate it. He sells them to DARPA and to Microsoft. Well, that's who just came out with the Majorana 1. And so I personally think it's just an extension of this work. I don't think they just discovered something. I think it's what we were talking about 9 years ago, or 8 years ago, with D-Wave.
Yeah.
Because the 2 people who just came out with this are the ones that he sold his tech to. And then he started a new company called Kindred. And Kindred is to build host bodies for the AI. But when he talked about his D-Wave computer, he said that it fluxes in between ones and zeros into the in-between, because it can flip, which is exactly what they're saying this new qubit does. But what he said is, and in that we tap into alternate realities in which we have encountered these beings who are like the Lovecraftian old ones. You might call them demons, but they aren't. They're just infinitely more intelligent than us. And we get, that's what quantum computing is we're tapping into other realities and getting the answers from there. And that's why it can solve things that we can't with ones and zeros. But that was his description of it. The quantum mechanic himself.
Sounds like a good idea.
So I did a study,
Oh my gosh.
and then he's building a company. I haven't looked into him in years. This has been a while, but he was building this company called Kindred, and he said what I'm doing is building host bodies for when we bring them across. But he set a date. He's like, all these people worried about this or that or sickness. He's like, I'm telling you, within 15 years, they're coming. AI is the new wave, and no one will have jobs. And he said, so if you want to set your clock to something, it's that. He's like, this is big. It's huge. And he said, and I feel like I am the Columbus on this journey. And like all great discoverers, I will die to see this brought about. He's like, I will offer my life on the altar of sacrifice of science. I mean, scary stuff. Like, who really talks like that? But he's contacted these old ones,
On the Nassara video, Magical Mystery Church talked about disclosure being like halfway through Trump's second presidency.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if it happens. I think it will.
I wonder what kind of, well, not disclosure, I apologize. I'm talking about contact.
Yeah. Well, when you think of the tau particles that are being blasted out of CERN, CERN is built on the site of Apollo, or Apollyon the Destroyer.
Yes, I am.
So maybe with this particle wave tau. So I started studying the tau more this morning and reading some scientific journals on it. And they came up with this theory. Some think that they've hit an alternate reality in Antarctica already. And some scientists are like, no, that's bogus. And some physicists are like, maybe they did. So there's like this debate. But it gets weird because they introduced this new concept called world lines, because they think that maybe they can change world lines through the neutrinos. So my question is, had a really good question. He's like, I'm talking to him about it this morning, and he's like, Dad, do you think that could be what it talks about in the book of Daniel, where it says they think to change the times and the seasons? Like they're trying to get a new alternate reality timeline going by bending the laws of light to start a new timeline where they avoid judgment. I'm like, that's
way
really
to go, buddy.
Like, I forgot all about that verse, so I looked into the verse, and one way of interpreting it in the Strongs is it could be interpreted as think to change, attempt, or it could be times and seasons. It could mean an appointed time, like a judgment. It literally can be. I'm not saying it is. That's one way to interpret the Hebrew.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird? So, I don't know. I was like, wow, that's interesting. So he's like, I'm not understanding what you're saying, but what that reminds me of is the Bible verse you told me a long time ago. I'm like, I haven't even thought of it that way.
We've been talking about this stuff for years, and here...
I know, some of these stories would have been the story of a decade years ago.
Yeah. And now we just have them all the time. Like, normal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you'll have to watch that AI video that Trump released. I mean, it's just crazy.
Yeah, I will.
And it even has a song about him being the savior and bringing light to everyone. I mean, the neutrinos are light. The quantum computing is light waves. And I really believe it's quantum entanglement with the people that, So, I've been studying also like astrobiology and astroviruses. They're called star viruses, but they normally are just a gut infection. But the thing about an astrovirus, it's called a star virus, is they're signified by spikes on the virus.
Right.
And so I'm wondering, like I don't know. But my thought is the coronavirus, the crown virus was all spiked. And that's not normal for a virus. Like, did they create an astrovirus for it? Is that what this is? Is that why it makes it so different? I don't know. I have more to look into to see. It's just a thought that's going through my mind at the moment. So, through their quantum physics,
Mm-hmm.
Because
nowadays,
the tau protein could be affected by light. It has a switch in it that can affect aging, like forward and backwards, and especially neurodegenerative diseases, or the tau protein. But on PubMed today, I found that the tau protein can be affected by an outside source to switch it on and off. It's called heat therapy, which is radiation. So they can switch the tau protein through like Wi-Fi or possibly neutrinos. I don't know. It doesn't go into it. It just says
get more control over it. What about the nanotech that's been, we've got the nano mist and the I forget what that stuff was called, the graphene or whatever.
Yeah.
Assembling.
Well, that's what some of the Tau is involved in. The neutrinos, they interact with ferro metals. Or possibly graphene is what I was thinking, because it did have something about it, but it doesn't go into detail, so I don't have enough information to know. So I'm still looking, but I think it's all quantumly entangled. I really do. I think what we're looking at is scientific magic. I think it's real magic.
Yeah.
Just using science to get there. I think the information was hidden, and it's been encoded in all these myths in the mystery schools, and they're finally building it back out.
Wow.
Like the fallen angel tech. That's what I think. I mean, I could be wrong. It's just a theory.
And I had to explain the significance of the term golden age. I had to tell him the significance of why we would call it a golden age outside of it being about physical gold, the metal, about the antediluvian world.
Mm-hmm.
And the significance of bringing back the antediluvian world back to Earth, to Eris. And that's why the golden age, not because it's shiny and full of money and all this other stuff. They're trying to bring back the antediluvian world as in the days of Noah.
Did you guys read that poem I sent you the other night?
You guys send me a poem?
Yeah, a poem to the both of you.
I need to go through my phone and make sure and scour and make sure I caught everything that you said.
In it, it's a poem, and it mentions the 7 rays in it of light coming out of Meridian's 7 rays, the goddess. So it's a poem to nature, but in it talks about Saturn and the golden age. The golden age of Saturn will return to men when we get past all these preconceived notions of Christians, basically. The guy, his last name is Darwin, and I haven't looked it up, and I did write you guys this, but I'm pretty solid. It was Charles Darwin's grandfather.
Oh, okay, you sent it.
Who wrote it?
I saw it.
It's a long poem.
This morning. Yeah, I got it this morning, and I had to just go write the words.
But it doesn't just mention the golden age. It says the golden age of Saturn. Saturn is represented by the cube, the 6-sided star.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this predates Crowley by 80 years.
It's Metatron's cube.
Mm-hmm.
It's, the second coming. There's a book by Derek Gilbert called The Second Coming of Saturn, Polyon. And it's just, they give a lot of names to one thing. And it even goes as far as that Satan or Lucifer is Saturn. Or Baal.
Yeah, I think Luciferian worship definitely tends to go towards Saturn worship.
Yeah, and a lot of Saturn.
Oop, I'm losing you. Hello?
I'm very familiar with that.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I was also looking into more of 9/11, just because you know how Trump made that statement of how during 9/11, he was on the radio and he's like, I guess I have the tallest building now in New York. Remember him saying that on the radio the day the towers fall down?
Like, oh my God.
Yeah, he was on air talking the day all those people were dying. He was saying that. Oh, and did you see the guy, Howard Lutnick, got in? Did that happen? That was like 4 days ago.
No,
we talked about that, right? Howard Lutnick is now the Treasury. That's the guy who owns Tether. But I found he's also in this company called Y-Star, in which he is involved with Larry Silverstein. That's the guy who owned Trade Tower 7 and had it built.
That's right. He took in that insurance policy.
They have this new biological lab called Y-Star. They're partnered together. The two guys around Trump, both of them are highly involved in 9/11. He's the one who bought the other 2 towers like 4 weeks before they went down. Anyway, theirs is centered around cancer research and like quantum biology. It's quite interesting, but they invested in it together in 2020.
Huh.
While Trump was out of the White House. And now Larry Ellison gets up and announces Stargate is a cure for cancer, and they're already heavily invested in that 4 years prior together. And now they're in charge of commerce. They're in the cabinet. And so
How about that?
you can't write this stuff. But anyway, Trump, so I looked more into it. So I've known about that statement, but I'm like, I looked into it, and that tower, it isn't just called Trump Tower, it's Trump World Tower. And it was completed in 2001. So when the World Trade Towers come down, he had just finished his World Tower building. That's why he mentions it. But isn't that bizarre? Like,
yeah. He would know better than to say it unless he meant to say that. It's bad.
I mean, that's, people were like cringe. Like, why would he say that, But what it is I think it's to let everyone know, like the World Trade Towers go down that day. And he mentions that he now has the tallest building, but he doesn't tell you the name of it. Well, the name of it is the World Tower building. So the World Trade Towers go down, and he sets up his building at the same year. It's finished in 2001. Very bizarre that should even happen. I've been calling him the 9/11 president. It's just another connection to the 9/11 presidency. The 45th and the 47th is the 9/11. And he's over the 119th Congress, which is it backwards. So it just gets, the math magic is super bizarre when you look into it. But the strange thing is, where he builds this tower is right next to the UN. And so the UN is smaller. And it towers over it. So you can go back and find articles. They're like, there was actually 400 million raised to stop Trump from doing that World Tower because it was so tall.
Yeah.
But he builds it over the UN, almost symbolizing like his World Tower is greater. But if you look at them, they're side by side of Formula 11, and on Google Maps, their driveway looks like a giant 9, the exact same size of the building that's 119th or 9/11. It's bizarre. Go to it, Google Earth. It looks that way to me anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, it gets weirder because if you draw a line down 47th Street and he's the 47th president, it lines up to Pfizer's headquarters. I mean,
Pfizer?
Yes. It is so weird. It is so weird. And guess what? So it shows there's the 47th, like the 47th president. But in 2001, in June of 2001, he sells the entire 45th floor to guess who?
I don't know. I wouldn't even know.
The Saudi Arabians.
Oh, wow.
The entire 45th floor for exactly $4.5 million. 45. And then the towers come down by Saudi Arabians less than 3 months later. It's just some weird coincidences the more I look into it. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the weirdest. It's almost like we're in a matrix. Like, it's all programmed. Makes it feel like it some days.
It just takes away when all this numerology.
So it's like the 45th floor, 4.5 million on 47th Street. There's the 45.
There's the 47.
And the 47, and that's the 9/11, and the buildings look like 9/11. And then, and he would have never come to power unless there was something like the 9/11, because that ushers in Bush is in office, and he's allowed to then do all of that, taking away all our rights under the Patriot Act.
Oh, man.
And the company that comes in and gets all the contracts from the 9/11 Commission is the sister of Maxwell Ghislaine. That's her computer company that gets the contracts for pre-predicting 9/11, which is strange. But then the same people are back in power, because now Howard Luckman's back in the White House, or in the White House, and he's invested in this cancer research 4 years ago. It's almost like somehow they knew it all was going to happen.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
Everything's intentional.
Yeah. But yeah, you got to watch that Golden Age commercial of his. It is so ridiculous.